So I just want to take a moment and share a testimony with you guys. The reason why I like to share testimonies is to encourage believers and to inspire believers to step out, to share their faith with others. But also, it's to equip you. Because if you maybe hear a way that I handle a situation or something, it will equip you in the future if you find yourself in a similar situation. So I was in Austin, Texas this weekend with a group of friends and people that went down there to be a part of a Let Us Worship in Austin. And we had about an hour and a half to go on outreach. And so we were walking down the street. It was 95 degrees. I was hot. And I was like, hey, let's stop into this store. They sell some lightweight T-shirts that would be really nice when it's 95 degrees out. So we went into that store and found a T-shirt. As I was checking out, I told the lady behind the counter that Jesus loved her and had a great little short conversation, and then made my way out of the store. And when we got outside of the store, there was an older lady that was sitting on a park bench. And I just said to her, hey, by chance, is there anything that we can pray for you for? Can we share the gospel with you? And she says, I'm a believer, but you can absolutely pray for my son. He doesn't know the Lord. And I'm just believing God that he would make a decision to follow Jesus. So we took her hands right there. We prayed, and not but 30 seconds after we prayed did her son come out of the same store. And so I thought, what a perfect opportunity to be an answer to the very prayer that I just prayed. And so I said, hey, man, we just prayed for you, and I just wanted to take a moment to tell you that Jesus loves you. And he says, man, you're a part of a cult. He began to get really upset. I said, hey, man, before you walk away, would you just give me a minute to share with you why I'm passionate? I was just going to share my testimony with him. And he said, no, walked back in the store. Mom said thanks. She began to walk down the street. But she was very thankful. She had a light heart because we had just prayed, and then she's got to see her, her son have the gospel, at least try to be preached to him. And not just a few minutes later, the store employees, one of them came out and said, hey, you guys can't be doing this. And I just kind of felt, in my heart, I'm like, I don't want to be rude. I don't want to go in the flesh. I want to stay in the spirit and be like Jesus. But I asked this employee a very simple question. I said, do you own the sidewalk? And she's like, that doesn't matter. You can't be talking to our employees, and you cannot be talking to anybody that's coming into and shopping, in our store. I said, okay, well, we're out here on the sidewalk now. I'm going to honor you, but I can tell that you're really nervous having to say this to me. You could tell that she was shaking. I was just trying to find some peace in the conversation. And at about that time, another employee came out. She was a little bit older. She was the one that had checked me out of the store. And she said, hey, listen, you guys can't be doing this. And I said, hey, I really feel like you're a believer. Is that true? And she said, yes. I then told her the story about the older woman and about how the son came out. I was able to pray for him. She goes, wow, that's amazing. I said, yeah, let me now tell you why I do what I do. So I go right into my testimony, and they're both standing there. One of them was getting very upset, but the older lady was really leaning in and listening and was like, okay, this guy's not too crazy. So I get all the way through my testimony. It takes me about a minute and a half to share that. And they continue to say, you cannot share with people. I said, listen, I love Jesus. I'm not going to be rude or anything, but I want you to know you're a believer and I'm a believer, and I'm going to stand here. And if somebody walks by, I'm going to share my faith with them. And then I asked the other employee that came out first, I said, by chance, are you a believer? And she says, that doesn't matter, which means that she was, because if she wasn't a believer, we know that she would have told me in that moment. I said, no, it does matter, because there's going to come a day where you stand before God. And it's about how you represented God, not how you represented the store or the company that you worked for. So I want to encourage you to be bold. And I just begin to speak to both of them, and they slowly begin to back up. They said, let's get out of here, because they realized that I wasn't going to back down and I wasn't going to give an inch to the enemy, or really give an inch to the fear of man. Why do I share this story? Because we're living in a time where if you say Jesus loves you to somebody, it's like hate speech. And that could not be further from the truth. Real love is Jesus, who came from heaven to earth, walked a perfect sinless life, became sin on a cross, died for us, rose again, so we could be given a gift called right relationship with God. So we have to stand for the truth, and we have to stand for what love is. Love is not making somebody feel comfortable. Love is sharing the gospel of Jesus with people and giving them the opportunity to choose him. So in this crazy cancel woke culture that we're finding ourselves in 2022, and I believe it's only going to get a little bit crazier. Hopefully it gets better, but do not fall to the lie that love is making people feel comfortable, and don't fall to the lie that says that love is just accepting and just, you know what I mean? That whole lie that's out there. No, love is Jesus, and we have to take a stand for him. And unless we take a stand for him, people will not have the ability to turn to Jesus. So I want to encourage all of you guys watching this as I close to be bold, but to be loved. Don't get in the flesh, stay in the spirit, but stand your ground and preach the gospel. Bless you guys.